Storm Tracker 6. This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Beautiful weather across mid-Michigan today. Been on the breezy side, but still lots of sunshine and warm temperatures. Notice the satellite and radar. A few clouds to our west. That's going to be with a cold front that moves in during the morning hours tomorrow. Current temperatures 64 in Lansing, Alma 63, 64 in Jackson, same in Coldwater. The peak winds today have been gusting up to 30 miles per hour, and that has created some problems as things are fairly dry out there, so fire danger is very high. Forecast-wise for tonight, temperatures fall into the 40s tomorrow morning. We're going to drop it some 10 to 20 degrees as we head into tomorrow as that cold front begins to move through. More on that coming up. 6 News at 5 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5.
The continued uncertainty surrounding the Trump tariffs is taking a toll on the stock market. It's our top story today at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones. It was a volatile day on Wall Street. When the markets closed, the Dow ended down over 2%. Let's take a look. The Dow officially closed down 890 points or 2.08%. The S&P 500 shed 2.7%. That's its lowest since September. The Nasdaq saw the sharpest decline with a 4% drop. That is the worst session since September of 2022. But on the local front, stocks seem to have weathered the storm, at least so far. Now, this comes as President Trump is not ruling out a possible recession, even as he defends his recent use of tariffs. Today, China is retaliating with tariffs on major agricultural products from the U.S. Erica Brown is here for you with the latest from Washington.
Markets tumbled Monday with uncertainty over potential trade wars sparked by President Trump's tariff threats, making investors nervous. Trump administration officials say better days for the economy are coming.
I think that we're pretty close to having the uncertainty behind us, and as you know, when that happens, then the economy really lifts off.
Trump has paused some tariffs against Canada and Mexico, while he's threatening taxes on Canadian dairy and lumber.
I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country.
Canada is already striking back, with the Ontario government putting a 25% surcharge on electricity exports. Canadian officials say it will impact about 1.5 million homes and businesses in Michigan, Minnesota, and New York, costing an estimated $400,000 a day. Trump's tax threats had a big impact on party leadership elections in Canada. The Labour Party chose economist and former bank executive Mark Carney to replace Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
We didn't ask for this fight, but Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
Greenland is holding its parliamentary elections Tuesday amid Trump's play to make the island part of the U.S., saying in his address to Congress, one way or the other, the U.S. will get Greenland.
I think it's important to say that the election here shouldn't be something that other countries are affecting. It should be something that is completely up to us.
Polls show the majority of Greenlanders do not want to become a part of the United States, and they now want independence from Denmark as well. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Hours after a series of outages that left X unavailable to thousands of users, Elon Musk is claiming that the social media platform is being targeted in a, quote, massive cyber attack. Musk said on a post today that the attacker is either a large coordinated group or a country. Complaints about outages spiked right around 6 o'clock this morning and then again at 10 a.m. with more than 40,000 users reporting no access to the platform, according to the tracking website downdetector.com. Republican Congressman Tom Barrett will host his very first public town hall tonight. However, this will not be in person. Instead, he'll lead a telephone town hall starting shortly after 7 o'clock, which now has some Michigan Democrats upset. A petition is circulating calling on Barrett to hold the town hall in person. And this comes as House Republican leaders reportedly are advising their GOP colleagues to avoid in-person town halls. They're worried about protesters speaking out against President Trump's recent decisions, as well as Elon Musk's involvement in the federal government. If you want to attend the virtual town hall, we do have a link for you on our website under the Scene on 6 section of WLNS.com. On the local political front today, the two political party chairs sat down together to talk about the issues for the very first time. And they have pledged that they will not launch personal attacks against the other. Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic is here for you with more on the exchange between Democrat Curtis Sertel and Republican Jim Runestad.
These two served together in the Michigan Senate, but now they'll be facing off in the political arena as election year 2026 unfolds. Mr. Sertel is the new elected state Democratic Party chair, and Mr. Runestad is the newly elected state Republican Party chair. They enter this campaign with polling data that suggests 40% of the voters are fed up with the two political parties and all the toxic exchanges between the two. So, in light of that, the two were asked if they would attack each other or be civil in their exchanges.
I got no problem talking about the Democratic Party's record, the Republican Party's record, or Jim and my record. I mean, I think that there is a space for truth and honesty in all of this, but I do think that the personal distortions have gotten out of control in politics.
To say he's a bad person or he wants to destroy the state of Michigan, no, that kind of stuff should be left out of the arena. It should be the ideas.
And to prove it, they could have gotten into a nasty argument over President Trump's tariff strategy that he says could produce a recession. They agreed to disagree in an agreeable manner.
So this is going to be helping the state of Michigan in terms of the long-term impact.
So the idea that President wouldn't care about those disturbances that are actually happening to people, I think, is incredibly offensive.
It's one thing to be respectful less than a month into their new assignments. The question is, will this hold when the campaigns heat up down the road? Here for you in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
Thank you, Tim. The demolition has already begun, but that isn't stopping protesters for trying to save some of old Lansing Eastern High School. They'll be making their voices heard at the city council meeting tonight, and they're also protesting at the high school right now. Zach Priest joined us now live from that protest. Zach, what are these people hoping to accomplish there?
Thanks. Protesters here tonight are hoping to make last-ditch efforts to save the west wing and the auditorium of the old Eastern High School right behind me here, but parts of it have already been torn down. Back in 2016, the building was bought by Sparrow Health, which is now owned by U of M Health, and they say the building has black mold, water leakage, and a lot of asbestos. But people here say they have an emotional connection to the building, which had hosted students for nearly 100 years. They know the odds are slim, but are willing to fight to save it.
The historical part that is in the auditorium, just the historical building itself, but the auditorium is what we're trying to fight to absolutely save. There's so much history in there, and it hasn't been touched since 1928, That's pretty amazing.
And Sparrow plans to build a mental health facility on these grounds when the current building is torn down. And as for the protesters here tonight, they're planning to move their protest over to City Hall later. Back to you.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, I know it's really tempting this time of the year. A nice day like this, get out in the yard, start raking things up. You want to burn that. Not such a good idea. We had a few reports of grass fires out there today, and not a shock. You look at our latest drought tracker, and portions of Mid-Michigan in severe drought conditions, eastern sections in more of a dry category, but it has been relatively dry across the region, so just avoid burning things if you can for a while until we get some good soaking rain out there. High temperature trend. It's a typical springtime forecast with lots of ups and downs. 60s today, low to mid-50s tomorrow. Then as we head towards later this week, maybe a shot at 70 on Friday. Could be our first 70 of the year. A little bit cooler Saturday, but more so Sunday and Monday as another cold front is on the way. So there's going to be some warm time out there, but you're still going to need a winter coat at other times. Satellite and radar quiet across mid-Michigan today and no threat of precipitation for this evening. Cold front's going to begin to move through. We talked about this last week. I was worried about next Tuesday because this cold front may try to sneak through the area. Here it goes. That's going to drop us into the low 50s for highs, so high pressure builds in for our Tuesday. Tuesday night and Wednesday, it'll quickly zip east. We're on the backside of the high, which means the return flow from the south, and that'll start to warm things up as we move into Wednesday afternoon. Snowfall, that remains well to our north, just very little precipitation despite a cold front on the way. Temps across the state as we head through the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Notice here comes our cold front, sinks to the south by early tomorrow morning. So in the afternoon hours, 40s to the north, 30s in the UP, kind of cold. And it's as we move into Wednesday, as I said, the backside of that high will start to transport warmer air back into the region, and it'll get really warm by Thursday and Friday. Our Skyview network today, McLaren Cam, beautiful blue skies, 65 degrees, wind gusts up to 28 miles per hour. The morning low is only down to 37. In Grand Ledge, couple clouds there, but otherwise a lot of sunshine. We're at 64 degrees. Morning low was 33, and our peak wind today 27 miles per hour. This afternoon in Jackson, warm as well, 64 the current and the high. Wind gusts 29, and our low temperature today down to 33 degrees. In Hillsdale with some sunshine, our current temps at 63 degrees. Morning low was 38, a little less in the way of wind. And of course, everyone big goose egg as far as the rain goes, and we could certainly use some. So temperatures currently mid-60s across mid-Michigan. Lows tonight won't be all that cold. The cold front doesn't come through till tomorrow morning, so 42 degrees to start the day. Then as we head into tomorrow, temperatures start out in the 40s, but only rise into the lower 50s tomorrow afternoon. So even with some sunshine, you'll notice a pretty big difference out there. The 6-day forecast shows warmer weather on Thursday, 57 degrees, near 70 on Friday. Showers and storms possible late Friday night, early Saturday morning, then they're out of here, mid-60s for highs. A couple more morning showers on Sunday as a cold front moves through. We'll drop into the mid-40s for highs. Next week, some 40s and some 50s. But no 60s or 70s, but hopefully a little more in the way of rainfall.
Well, enjoy this week because it was so beautiful out there. Everyone was out walking their dogs, just taking walks.
Neighbors you haven't seen in 6 months, there they are in their yards again.
I know, this is when you see the little kids and all of a sudden they grow like 6 inches because they've been inside all winter long.
What happened to you guys? Oh, 6 months happened.
Exactly. Thanks, David.